imagination, or was it full of fear and hesitation? Have a look at what you're really doing. Oh, what are you truly pursuing? It's a state of mind, and I think you'll find you truly love living. That's a waste of time. Hey you, I don't really care what you gotta say, gotta say. I'm gonna keep doing my thing every day. Well, every day, every day. Life's a mess and so am I. So who are you to criticize? Welcome to my state of mind. You truly love living, that's a waste of time. I come on thinking about what I've done. Now I'm spinning my life all around the sun. Well, what if tomorrow was never to come? Well, I can tell you now about heaps of fun. Like to sympathize and empathize with what you're feeling. So sick and tired of what they've been dealing. You know it's never too late to let it all go and live life with meaning. Come over to the other side, it's not a game, it's just a ride. Put your hands up and let time go by. Stop living your life for yesterday, you can't get back the time you throw away. State of mind. Well, it's a state of mind. Well, it's a state of mind, and I think you'll find you truly love living as a waste of time. Hey you, I don't really care what you gotta say, gotta say. I'm gonna keep doing my thing every day. Well, every day, every day. Life's a mess and so am I. So who are you to criticize? Welcome to my state of mind. You truly love living, that's a waste of time. I'm awake at night. I'm awake, 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 I'm awake at night. Well, I'm baking with my head against the glass. In steel box, laughing at memories brought up from the past. But memories change, the feeling remains. I gotta get some good times stuck in my brain. I gotta go and get away from the shit of today to the one place that makes me feel okay. We gotta go to the valley. 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 Like a double creature feature that comes off the screen. The beast is alive cause it lives and it breathes. All the laughing to the people that come out to play. Are they devils, little children, or freaks on the stage? I see it in my head, I feel it in my veins. I gotta get some good times stuck in my brain. I gotta go and get away from the shit of today to the one place that makes me feel okay. We gotta go to the valley. 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 As the light comes up and the people come down, the night fades away and so does the crowd. Back to the last for the end of the week where they're playing back memories of time on the street. But memories fade, the feeling remains. I gotta get some good times stuck in my brain. I gotta go and get away from the shit of today to the one place that makes me feel okay. We gotta go to the valley. We gotta go to the valley.
is going on, you absolute champions? We are back, we are back, we are back with another Jimna special. You know what that means. We got another band on. I cannot wait. Tonight, we got some beautiful, smooth sounds. Almost, well, from what I gather and my opinion of it, it's almost like Arctic Monkeys meets Muse. I love it. I love it. Tonight, we got Jack from TRIPSITTA on. Brother, say hello.
How you going? How you going, man? How you going, guys? What's going on?
Man, we are...
Having a good night so far?
Oh, dude, thank you for jumping on. So happy to have you here, my brother.
Yeah, no worries at all. I'm happy to be part of it, and thank you for helping promote Jimna as well. It's going to be pretty cool, helping us out. It's pretty cool.
Oh,
awesome.
Man, I'm looking forward to Jimna. I'm going to drag myself up there. I'm looking very forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a really cool festival. It's going to be a really cool festival. It's like, out underneath the stars, get to like hang out with bands 2 nights in a row. 26 bands over 2 nights is unheard of for like most festivals, unless you're like paying upwards of like $300, $400.
That's exactly right. And what, for the $100, $120 pass? Mate, that's a great
Well, if you use like the code, I think it's a TRIPSITTA 2022, you get them for $100 instead of like 150.
There you go. We'll make sure we leave links to all this stuff down the bottom.
Yeah, leave the
video.
Links.
Yeah. So please tell us a bit about TRIPSITTA. How did this all come about?
Well, TRIPSITTA started probably in 2000. It started probably a couple of years, a year before COVID. So I was like in another band, and I wasn't really digging the sound anymore. I was kind of getting bored of it. It was very like an indie folk pop kind of band, so it was kind of big for that time. We had like Mumford & Sons, that kind of stuff going on. I got kind of bored of it for a while, and I started writing some new stuff that was, what TRIPSITTA's playing right now. I've got some friends to come along and have a jam, and we're like, yeah, let's make a band. Had a session where we wrote all our band names down, and came up with TRIPSITTA, which was the top voted one. And pretty much as we started, no joke, we kind of like had our first show in, I think it was like a couple of weeks before COVID started.
Oh.
So it was like we did the end of the year, and then we did like a sold out show at Tomcat. And I'm pretty sure the next day after is when you heard ScoMo go, all right, it's all closed. It's all done. We'll cut off. And that's how the journey began. It was like, okay, how are we gonna push through in this, post-apocalyptic world kind of thing.
Well, borderline was for music, wasn't it? I mean, considering they just took the main source of income and pretty much what all Australian bands aim for, and that's live shows. Like we aim to hit the live shows, and to get that taken away, especially when you just start a band and you sort of got decent music to lay off your groundwork, it takes the wind out of your sails. But you really didn't let it slow you down too much, did you?
Yeah, well, we kept that drive going. I have a lot of passion to play and stuff like that. So we did lots of live sessions. Like they were very difficult. We tried to do as much as we possibly could. Lots of content that we could put out as well. And that's like how we got onto making the music video for the Valley. So obviously we had plans prior. They were like, okay, hopefully lockdown's not going to last too long, and then it lasted 2 years. So like. We were thinking, we'd love to do a homage to the actual Fortitude Valley, where we go out and play and drink and have fun with our friends, stuff like that. And we thought, well, we'll just film a night out or a show that we do, and that'll be the music video as like an honor to it, and then we can finish it up there. But obviously with COVID and stuff like that happening, we had to think of something new to do, something a bit out of left field, and a bit creative. Had to get a bit creative because we had to follow the rules where you can only have a couple people in your house at the time. You can't. I think it was you can't have more than 10 people in the house at one point. You can't go out anywhere. It's got to all be written down. It's got to be COVID safe, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it took a lot of effort. A lot of planning, a lot of creativity, a lot of stress, a lot of just setting up my own house that we were living in to make it look like this amazing set, and it looked like it was $1 million, but it was like scrap material and cardboard cutouts and very, very cheap things that we could get our hands on short notice just to create something new and exciting because it was such a dreary time and like everything was going upside down constantly. So to get like a video that we got was like, I got no words. And people seem to like it, which is really cool.
No, it's a fantastic video. I enjoy it. So you were saying that you actually like had to write everything down as far as the COVID stuff went. Like, did that mean that you actually had to register like the whole video clip process and?
No, just like writing down like you had to like make sure you got people's how would I get like consent, if that makes sense. Like everyone's like understanding like what they were doing while they were there. You know, and if police were coming by, you know, you didn't want them to be like, hey, you know, you've got too many people here. People were getting arrested at that time for like having more than 10 people or having more than, you know, a certain amount of people in one room. You know, I think it was the point where you could only have. We were lucky because, you know, a lot of the band lived in the share house at the time. So we were all really lucky to live in that one place a couple of years ago. So that was very, very lucky. So we could have, you know, 5-6 people in the house and then add another 2 or 5 people in it. So we'd actually get the full amount that we needed for the actual shoot, which was so lucky. So like if we lived, for example, in an apartment, you know, by ourselves, there is no way we could have done it. It would have been like doing something over Zoom, possibly. Whoa. Which still would have been cool, I'm sure, but you know, I think we'd count with something pretty cool.
Well, that's good. You actually managed to take the sort of situation that you guys are stuck in and put in the work, because because at the moment, like my whole after looking at things, it was the players or the stayers. That's what COVID did, as far as I was concerned. It separated the players from the stayers.
It did. I saw a lot of friends and a lot of bands just drop. I just saw people stop doing it, but then again, I did see a lot of people who just kind of kept pushing through. Like they really pushed through, like, or you know, just went on hiatus for like, you know, a couple of years, and then just are coming back now, like, you know, just as strong, which is even more insane. Like I don't know how they couldn't do things. For me, I have to do things. If I don't do things, I get a bit crazy, get a bit like stir crazy. I gotta do stuff, or you know, I get a bit nuts.
Oh, mate, I completely feel you. What do you recommend me start this? You got
save it.
I got told I couldn't go out and drink with people anymore. It's like I'm bringing the party to me.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, it was a rough time. It was a rough time for a lot of people. You know, I think it was like I saw some statistics online. Could be completely false. That it was like, you know, a 7% upscale in like people purchasing alcohol during COVID, just because they could drink at home and needed to drink at home just to get through like the absolute insanity of it. But you know, we're out the other side now, which is the best.
That is the main thing.
Do shows and festivals are happening again, and there's like a million tours happening. Like I was talking to like some of the booking agents for Select Music last week, and they've got so much on. They're just jam-packed. There's like 50 tours going on right now, which I could not imagine having to deal with all that stuff all at once.
Mate, I mean, especially with what Karen's putting on with the 26 bands and stuff like that, man. Big shout out to Kaz.
Yeah, Karen's amazing.
What can we expect? What is a TRIPSITTA show? What can we expect at Jimna?
Well, we did it last year, and that was insane. We had to play that show. I'll tell you a bit of the story. We had to play that show. Our drummer couldn't do it, so our drummer was like, "Oh, I have to, you know, be up near Rockhampton," because he was like working with a company that kind of like sets up all the tents and stuff like that, and or sets up like the areas for festivals and stuff like that. Like sets it all up, makes it look nice, makes it look cool, and then, you know, that's when people come in afterwards. And then he packs them down after the festival. So we were like, okay, well, we can't do the festival. What are we going to do? And then we're like, okay, well, maybe can we go and help you out, Brad, and then maybe drive back? So that's what we ended up doing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so basically we drove about 6 hours to help him set up for another festival, right? drove another after we had worked probably about 4 or 5 hours of setting up tents and like an area. We then got back in the cars, drove another 4 hours to Jimna just to play with him.
Wow.
You got to stay true to your drummer, obviously. You got to stay true to your drummer, and it was
Dedication
awesome.
to
It
the
was
cause,
amazing. It totally changed the atmosphere. Everyone seemed to have really enjoyed the set. We played a couple of good covers that we'd like to chuck in, and everyone was getting around them. So it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I think we played just before Urban Sea, and it was a great slot, fantastic slot. And this slot, this year we got a very similar slot as well. Closing the first night, so it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be massive. We've got some cool sneaky things planned.
Oh, nice.
Got a
I
couple
like
of new
sneaky
songs we're gonna preview for the first time. So no one's heard them before, so it'll be the first time everyone's heard them. So it'll be awesome.
Oh, that'll be heaps good. I can't wait. So how have you actually found the reception as far as TRIPSITTA as a collect now that shows you guys said that you sort of got your first show out the way in like just before COVID struck?
Yeah, it was like 2019, so it was like just before that, and then we obviously started pretty slow, obviously because of that, because we couldn't do shows. We pretty much got the single out, like we got the Valley out. It was like that the show that we did was the Valley single launch, and our plan was to like a couple of weeks later do the release the music video, kind of like get the hype for the single, everyone listening to it, and then keep that hype going with the music video. But then obviously it got shut down. So we did that for a while. That worked pretty well. We did those live shows that I was talking about, like over Zoom. Did a couple of sit-down shows, which were pretty rough, not going to lie. Went up and did the Soul Bar a few times doing that, it's difficult, being like a rock band with like high energy, and we all had to sit down on stage. Brad didn't change too much for our drummer, obviously, but for the rest of us, we were sitting on chairs, playing on stage, people sitting down. Especially when you're playing high energy stuff, it looks kind of weird. We still did it. It still went awesome. People seem to enjoy it, so that's great. And then we had like that little break with COVID, and that's when we like tried to get a bit creative with that music video I was talking about. And then we did released Waste, did a couple of shirts with those. We were planning to do a tour as well. We had a tour planned. It got cancelled because of COVID. Because it went back on and went back off. We were planning to do a tour with Hoodoo Gurus and Super Jesus, which would have been awesome.
That would have been a great little stepping stone.
Cool. Yeah, that would have been amazing. That would have been great stepping stone. But they're really, really nice people, so I'm sure I'm in contact with them all the time, so I'm sure they'll probably hit us up again this year or next year when things are, coming back into the swing of it again. Because we're still here, we're still doing things. And then we did Change, which was with the Brisbane City Council, and basically they filmed us a whole music video. They really liked our stuff. It was awesome. We then jumped on to the Olympic reveal ceremony. So when they revealed that Brisbane was going to host the show, the Olympics.
Yeah,
we did like a big performance there, which was insane because we were playing. Before and after absolute legends, which was crazy. Being on live TV is always a very nerve-wracking thing, but we got through it. It's pretty fun. On that massive stage, had to move around a bit. We're not used to it. Usually those really crammed dive bar stages, but those ones you have to jump around lots, or it looks like you're just standing still for 45 minutes. But yeah, and now we're like into the new year, and like we've got new things happening. We've got a couple of new members as well, new members in the band, and new songs, and going to the studio after Jimna. That's on the hush hush, so no one's told us about that yet. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun year. A couple of tours planned, so it'll be good.
Mate, it's good to keep busy, and that's what you guys have done. You didn't let COVID slow you down. That is fantastic. That is seriously, that is good stuff, man. And that's what and you guys are pretty much, exactly what I'm saying. Players from the Stayers, man, and I understand. I'll have a chat about this a little bit later, but I guess the whole element of touring is becoming going to become a big thing again, especially after you said that you did that sit-down show.
Sorry, the what? Sorry?
The sit-down show? Sorry, mate.
Oh, the sit-down show, yeah. That was brutal. That was that Soul Bar. Yeah.
So, like, do you reckon now, after seeing that, do you reckon people will just have like a whole new appreciation as far as being able to get up and shake their booties again?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like people are still kind of coming out of their shell again. I feel like everyone's still got that attitude of like, is it actually safe to come out? Or is something bad going to happen again? It's very like that, bit of that trauma, that kind of thing. And a lot of leaders are talking about that now, and they're saying like, as people who are progressing forward, you got to remember a lot of people took a lot of trauma during these, like your last, 2.5, 3 years, where, especially even now with all the floods in Australia as well and the bushfires beforehand, it's like this constant wave of crap, excuse my French.
No, no, you can say whatever you want here.
This continuously happens, and then people are like, do I go out? Can I go out? Is something bad going to happen to me if I go out? What if I just stay home and just stay in my house? I'm safe because tomorrow, it could flood again, or it could be COVID again, or a new variant might come out, or a third variant might come out, or they're going to shut down my work because I didn't make enough money during COVID, or all that kind of stuff. So everyone's kind of still a bit stressed out, but everyone is coming out now. Like I said, everyone's slowly creeping out of their little COVID caves, and coming to shows, like you said, shaking your booty a little bit, having a few drinks, letting your social awkwardness get away from you and all that kind of stuff. Have a good time. So yeah, it's good. It's very good. Good to see. Really good to see.
And really, just if you feel that way, just wear a mask. Just wear a mask. Make you feel safe.
Yeah, if you're feeling stressed out about it, just wear one. If you're feeling stressed out about it, like I had it, wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Everyone.
So no. Continue. Like my whole house just had it. I managed to avoid it.
Yeah, good on you. Good on you. I was pretty bad for a couple of days. It was like about 2 days of feeling pretty sick for crook. But it wasn't that bad. Like I was pretty sick like the first 2 days, but then I was like, okay, I'm done now. Let's go do life again.
Okay, that's good. At least it's over and done with you. You've been out the other side. Now, I always ask, since I see you sipping away there, what are you drinking, brother?
What am I drinking? I'm having a little bit of Italian. I guess it's like an Italian whiskey, but it's called Grappa.
Oh,
pretty cool.
I like me some Grappa.
It's very, very, very nice. It's like a really smooth. It's like a really smooth whiskey.
It's like a,
really
like kind of like ouzo, the Greek
variant.
variant.
Yeah, it's like grape skins. Like wine that way, and like a lot of places in Italy have their own recipes for them. So like the older the recipe, the better it is. That makes sense. So the older the family tradition's been going for, the more expensive it is. So like the bottle I'm drinking at the moment apparently has been going for over like, it was like over 120 years. So it's pretty old.
Nice. I like that.
What about you, man? What are you drinking?
I'm just on the 50 lashes tonight. Nothing special.
Nice. No, that's still good. Nothing better than that.
I'm just cheap and nasty. So I'm pretty cheap and nasty myself. So mate, can we watch this video clip? Let's have a watch of this video clip together, shall we? Now, one thing I've noticed that's at the forefront of all Australian bands at the moment, and I'm really appreciating, is how they're really trying to capture Australia properly. And yeah, like, because it's like a lot of suburbia and shit like that, Australia's a good chunk of its suburbia and stuff like that, as much as it is city. But I love the Uber ride. Oh, let's watch it. Where's my thing? Oh, make sure I get this properly. Alright, that should... Where's that? Where's the volume for that? Oh, wait, I need to... There we go. I don't know where the volume's gone for that. There it is. There we go. Just the hammock, like... So, hey, where'd the concept come from? Let's see, this part, okay. So this is... just in the first 5 seconds. So this is how I knew I was going to be very interested, because I'm like, okay, It's what? It's Friday night. It's you know, the phone's gone off, all right, all the boys are ready to go. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. You It does. It does. And for some reason, that one, I need to copy that and put you in here. And there we go. Talk again.
What's going on?
Yeah. Now we can hear you. Sorry about that. So go back. So you were saying that you were trying to capture. Go start again.
Kind of capture like the whole idea that it was in that time where COVID was going absolutely bananas, and you didn't know if it was going to be open tomorrow or the next day. And the whole idea is that, you know, you get this text saying, "Yo, the valley's open. We can go out tonight. We can enjoy ourselves a little bit." But the whole point of this video, as you'll probably see at the end, is that it's not about actually going out. It was more like the insanity that it caused us. Whereas like we couldn't go out, so we had to create our own valley, which is how the concept of the whole entire thing came together. It was like, how about we build our own? How about we build our own?
That's so cool.
In the house.
Because I love the
Which
fact
took
that
a lot of effort. It was a lot of effort. A lot of stuff had to get done, and we did it, which was crazy.
And then to start the night, you've obviously got fake tabs there, but to start the night, you saw dumb tabs, and I'm just like, I can't wait to speak to these. Like
the whole idea of the cardboard tabs was to be like, okay, as you'll probably see later, it's like the cardboard tabs bring in that universe or bring in that reality. That makes sense. They bring in that coaxed, strange thing, and that's when things start to go a bit sideways and a bit crazy. And that's what you want in a music video. You want a bit of entertainment, a bit of a laugh.
Oh man, because I remember nights like these.
Yeah.
I remember it so well. I don't know why, but I love it so much. And you've done the right thing and you called an Uber. Nobody drove high.
No one drove high. No, never did that. Never did that.
Oh. And then I love how he just kicks it in the Uber.
Yeah.
Oh.
Starts to break down. Reality starts to break down a little bit. Seeing cardboard cutouts everywhere.
This part. The house, it's a nightclub. I love it. How long did you guys do all those cards? Sorry, I'm going to pause it right there. Did you guys do all those cardboard cutout yourselves?
Yep, every single one we did. Every single one was created by us, you know, family members, girlfriends, partners, you know, partners of the time, boyfriends, girlfriends, sometimes parents, roommates, all kinds of stuff.
That's mad. Little COVID project, you know, if you're bored.
Little COVID project, yeah, we did it. We bunked it out in like 2 weeks, which was crazy.
What? That's a fair fucking few in there too, like especially in that nightclub part.
And there's like, you know, a good amount of people, like organizing people to like move them and stuff like that. Yeah. It's
what I love. Like, especially when you see, obviously, when you guys dropped the video, you can see it was like right in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
And you guys just went, okay, how do we get around having a room full of people? We'll just cut out a room full of people.
It's pretty much it.
And then we'll take, and then in the video, we'll take acid, and that way we're tripping, and everyone just looks like cardboard cutouts.
Exactly. That's exactly how it went down. That was exactly how we were planning it. We're like, how are we gonna make it? You know, we can't just like do a cardboard cutout and we just rock up at the valley as a cardboard cutout. We're gonna make it like it's gonna have some kind of story motive to it to be engaging, and people will be like, that's why, and that's why this is happening, and that's why this is happening. And then, you know, they say about like good story writing, they're like, it's gonna be like, and this happens because, and then that happens, so then this happens because that happened. That makes sense.
Like, how long would you say, I guess in hours, did it did it take to do the storyboard for this? Because I know when we I used to play in a band many moons ago,
Mm.
but when we did our video clip, we just sort of sent our music to a videographer, and he just went, "Oh, okay, I've got this for you." And we're like, "Yeah, that's a really cool concept."
Yeah, so usually what we do is like I always like to be part of the creative process. That's like my favorite part. I would say is creating something from nothing, and that's probably the awesome thing about anyone in the creative industry or any creative industry or media industry is that we create something from nothing. You know, like art, for example, it's a blank canvas, and then there's something there. You know, with music, it's you know there's no sound, and then there's this amazing thing that you listen to, and it changes how you feel. So it's the same kind of thing with a piece of music video. It's like a blank screen, and then you're entertained for like the next 30 minutes, and you enjoy the song as well. So being part of that creative industry, that creative process is definitely a big part. It did take a while. So like I said before, it was like a lot of spitballing ideas and going, okay, we've got that COVID problem. The plan was to go out, so how about we do this cardboard idea instead? And we're like, how about we do cardboard cutouts, or how about we build like the actual maybe we'll build the cardboard buildings in the backyard of like all the different clubs or Brunswick Street, and we'll walk through it kind of like Godzilla, if that makes sense. And we're like, oh, why won't look that good? How are we going to get the lighting right? And we're like, oh, we're probably going to need some lighting. How do we get some quick quotes from some people around and see what they got for lighting? We got a fog machine. Oh, what if we did it inside and we have some carbon? We just kind of like built from there. It's like lots of spitballing ideas to organize it and what we could actually do feasibly, and without spending four grand on a music video.
Oh my god, aren't they? They're not cheap.
I ordered a whole bunch of cardboard off the internet. It had to be delivered. I couldn't touch it because when it came, it had to be delivered, and no one could be there when it got delivered because of COVID. So we had to wait for the person that unloaded the cardboard off the back of the truck, and the truck had left, and then grab the cardboard and get the back to start cutting and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we had getting paints organized, and what are they going to look like? And then we're like, oh wait, they got to move. Some of them are going to move. We got to someone's got to open the door. So we're like, oh, we'll get some I went to Bunnings and during COVID and bought nuts and bolts. just 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 to help them move around. We had them on string and stuff like that, and a lot of fun stuff. A lot of fun stuff.
Please tell me you filmed all of this.
All the
behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. There's always there's heaps of stuff on on our Insta mostly.
Oh.
I should probably just go through it. I should probably go through and put it all together like a montage. But I'm pretty sure there's lots on there. There's lots of
you have to. I want to see that.
All right, I'll have to make one. I'll chuck it on my list to chuck on the Insta, and I'll make one of the highlights.
Do it. You should bring out a full documentary of it because look.
Just a full.
No, bring it,
mate.
Do it. Do it, man. Because I'll tell you. I hope I say this right. Leilani said, "Well worth the effort. The video's great."
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, it was a massive undertaking, but we did it.
Mate,
we did it. We pushed through and made it happen.
What I love seeing, and I appreciate so much, and like I keep saying, COVID separated the players from the States. You guys obviously had this whole concept drawn out for the way you wanted your video to go.
Yeah.
And in true Bear Grylls style, you just adapted and did what you needed to do. And the quality of the video you brought out, it could if this is your fallback and this is what you had to come up with, I guess on such short notice, I can only imagine what the video would have been in the original.
If it was something else.
Yeah, well, I think this is a very happy accident. It's what.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. We are super proud of it. Absolutely super proud. A lot of people put a lot of effort into it, and Shane did a really good job filming it. He was our cinematographer, and basically what we did is he's like, oh, what do you want to do? Do you want to have a sit down and I'll help you write it? And I was like, oh no, we've already got something. Here you go. This is what we're gonna do. We sent it, in full professional way. We sent him through a big massive document with you know, we're going to film this first at this time with these actors, these props, this is what's going to happen, this is the shot we want, this is the angle, this is that, this is this. So basically, he had to rock up and be like, all right, sick, let's go. Bam, bam, done, done, done. Shots were done. Like, we did that whole entire set, recorded that whole entire music video in a night.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Dude. Whatever's in those little squares that you take in that
Give me
video.
some of those.
Man, that's
Just nootropics, man. Just superfoods.
man, it's just tons of antioxidants. Tons of antioxidants. Helps the brains work. Mate,
No, we got it all done.
you guys should be super proud of it.
Obviously, all the prep work behind it took a while, but the filming was super quick. Super quick.
That's fantastic. That just obviously goes to show that the amount of prep work that you guys put into it, you guys went in with a plan and the execution was perfect.
100%.
You are a videographer's dream.
Yeah, especially like when they're working with you. I've had a couple of videographers come up to me afterwards, and you know, they say like, oh, you know, what do you usually do? Like, because I've talked to them obviously like later for other singles we have, you know, we're going to release this year as well, and talking to them, they're like, oh, so what do you usually do? Like, how do you, like, I've watched your music videos. Who came up with those ideas? And we're like, oh, we come up with those ideas, and then we gave them to the cinematographer, and you know, we went from there. And then he's like, oh, really? Usually, like, for a lot of people, cinematographers, it's like kind of like you said, how it's like you give them the song, you pay them the money, and then they do all the work, and then you just get told to rock up at, you know, 6 o'clock, yeah, at a random location that you've never heard of before, and do your thing for a couple of hours, and then you're like, yeah, good, we got it all, you can go home, and then it's all up to them.
That's pretty much, you hit the nail on the, mate. You hit the nail on the head for what it is for most other bands. How long did it take to edit this?
To edit, Shane probably did it in, because like I said, we had all those shots organized. So we were like, okay, that's shot 1, this is shot 2, this is shot 3. Because we planned it out to like, we wanted the valley, you know, we planned out every little moment. So we knew, like, this is, because we all had all this time. We had all this time, you know, we were locked inside, so we couldn't do too much. We had all this time to plan out all these different shots. So it only probably took him like a couple of weeks to edit. It was pretty quick.
Wow.
And that was him with, you know, him doing his own like other projects and you know work and all that kind of stuff. So it didn't take too long, and then we dropped it pretty quick.
Jeez,
and there's actually
man.
a really cool hidden part about this music video that I don't think a lot of people actually worked out yet. But if you find it, I'll explain it.
Okay. All right. Let's keep going then.
Yeah.
One thing, ordering drinks on acid, man, is just the fucking worst thing in the world. I hate it. It's exactly like that Fear and Loathing scene.
Exactly.
Fuck, the lighting, everything. Like, now thinking about it, knowing what you guys had to do, and you look at it from a whole different view. What was on fire? Was it the Uzo?
That, yeah, and we lit the dude on fire as well.
Yes.
Everyone was pretty scared. We had a room full of flammable objects, so it was pretty funny.
I didn't see that before. Have you ever tried DMT? Is that meant to be Joe Rogan?
Yeah, but Joe Rogan.
Have you ever tried DMT? Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very. I would love to go to Peru and try the actual ceremony. That's one of my things.
Yeah.
I want to go over there and try out the. You know, it's supposed to go for like a whole.
The spiritual journey and see gods.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would love to try. You know, and be like guided through it would be even more incredible. I'm a big fan of those things. So. The manager absolutely slammed me with that hamburger. Like, I'm talking like full
Eucalyptus
full,
spray,
like,
yes. Oh, back on it again, yay. Love the bowl cut too. A little bob cut.
Yeah.
Oh, now the driver thinks you're cardboard. That's not going to end well for anyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
The hidden part starts right now. So it's only people who have really good speakers can hear it. So while the credits are rolling, is actually a story in the background.
I did hear this. I know.
Yeah, so that's the boys talking. That's while we're in the car,
Yeah.
and it's like a recorded conversation that we recorded while we were filming. So
Who
it's
got
like
pulled over?
It's funny. It's a really funny story. Like Andy, the guitarist, he is probably should have been a comedian. Or he's just a really funny guy. So he can just he's a great storyteller. Like he's probably one of the funniest people to talk to in the world. He basically loves comedy and he can come up with amazing stories on the spot. And we were just like, hey Andy, tell a quick story while we're driving around, because this is like while we were filming that the scene at the start of that music video where the cardboard LSD tabs are kicking in, and we were like driving around, trying to, I was like, oh, we're gonna laugh. There's a scene where we have to laugh, and it looked like we're having a good time, and I was like, oh, I don't want to fake it. I don't want to fake being happy. And I was like, Andy, tell us a funny story. So Andy told us an absolute hilarious story, which is what you hear at the end of the music video, and it is hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
Because I heard the whole thing, and I thought the exact same thing. That if you get pulled over and you're blowing the bag, they don't do the drug test after.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great story. I heard it at the end. I'm like, what are these guys cracking on about after? And I'm just like, hold on, I'm listening to this back again. I'm listening.
A lot of people. Yeah, it's funny.
I heard it on the first playthrough.
Yeah, it's like we wanted to add something a little bit funny in the end, something a bit hilarious, and Shane did a good job of that as well. So
it fits in awesome. So well. It fits in because what it adds to the video for me when I heard it, because I was listening to it on the good speakers. I was like, it's like the night's ended and they're all sitting there on the come down of the acid, and they're just rattling shit, and that's like that's some of the best times I've ever had. It's just when you're just rattling shit.
You do it any time, not just on like the psychedelics or like the party drug. You do it like after like a big night out.
Yeah.
Down, everyone's just like rattled from the energy of it, and it's on the Uber ride home, and you're either like you got no energy, or you're like, oh, that was awesome, that was great, that was a fantastic night, that was something, telling funny stories and things that happened, and just having beers. It's always good hanging with your friends and having those amazing chats about absolutely random bullshit just fucking going everywhere.
Mate, it's exactly right. That's what life is about, all those random encounters and all those fun things, and that's what we missed during COVID. We got so settled and caught up in it, and now we're free again, and we're allowed to get in trouble again. Cause a bit of mischief.
Exactly. We're allowed to do whatever we want. Have a good time.
I was saying, we were talking about something before the stream started.
Oh, we're talking about the other music video that I had out. The other one?
We can watch that. We can watch that in a sec. But that's right. That's what I'm. After seeing what you've seen with COVID and stuff like that, I asked this to everyone. What do you think the current state, I guess, of the music scene is? I don't know. I don't go out. I have children, and
I would definitely say, like I said, it is definitely coming back. It's definitely coming back. It's like I said before, it's like everyone's coming out of their COVID cave, just very slowly. Like there's been an explosion out. I picture it like in this way of like, it's like, cavemen time, everyone's in the cave, hiding from, the massive fire that they've never seen before. And they're like, oh, is it safe to come out now? Is it, are we okay to leave the cave? Very animalistic in that way, a bit of trauma, that kind of thing for 3 years. And now we're allowed to go do stuff. So everyone's this is kind of cautious.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of cautious. But the cool thing is that music is definitely alive. Like people can still definitely go out and see bands. Like we did 2 shows last night, and it was amazing. Like there was heaps of people out having a really good time. So it's definitely not dead. Obviously, it's there's always like these lingering things in the background, which is really does suck and does put a dampening on things like the floods and all that kind of stuff. You're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be going out because, probably I need to, give some money to help him, which you definitely should do.
Yeah.
There's lots of donations out there, so make sure you definitely, if you get a chance to,
lot.
even if it's $6 cents, always good to do that. But a lot of bands, including us, do like flood relief shows and floods for shows for like relief disaster stuff as well. So it's definitely coming back. Like I said, it's got a lot of stuff dingling in the background. World War III, Russia, Ukraine, floods.
Jesus, oh no.
Will Smith getting smacked. Chris Rock getting smacked. All that kind of stuff is, it's all in the background. So everyone's like, oh my God, the world is upside down and crazy.
Oh.
But, life's still going on. It's still going on the weekends, trust me. People are still going out and having a good time.
Well,
So there's lots of shows going on always. I'm not sure what it's like with you in like Sydney and Melbourne and all that kind of stuff, but I'm sure the scene's definitely still kicking it.
I wouldn't know. Like I said, I don't really go out anymore. I've got 2 small kids and stuff like that. I try and get out, but what do? I'm going to try and get out 2 weeks in a row, get up to Jimna and go to Canberra the week before.
Yeah, you're gonna be at Jimna, are you?
Yeah, I'm going. The missus is giving me the blessing.
Giving you the blessing. I love that. That's
Yep.
great.
So
You're allowed to be there.
I can take him out of the purse for the weekend, and no, my wife's not like that. She knows it's for beer buddy, and
It'll be awesome.
It's
It'll be
gonna
awesome.
be
You're gonna be
so
filming.
good.
Are you gonna film there as well?
Yes, I am. I'm gonna attempt to film as much as I can up there and make a little montage video, and maybe do a couple of live streams off my phone.
Yeah, we'll do like a little post-show or pre-show interview or something.
Yeah. Well, if I could, like really, like the ultimate dream is to maybe get some money and buy heaps of cameras and bring my computer up and do all that stuff. So that's the plan. Yeah. That's the plan.
Yeah,
or even if I just got to do it off the webcam, I'll do it off the webcam. It looks pretty nice. It doesn't look too bad. So
I'm sure it'll still look really good.
But no, I'm looking forward to meeting everyone that I've interviewed so far. Karen's been an absolute massive help in pointing me, or just showing me bands that are really, really good. Everything she has under MMK is just at a very good level.
She's built something that a lot of bands probably don't appreciate. Is that she's putting on a festival for bands that are at that level that probably wouldn't get into a bigger festival. Like we've done other festivals before this one, but like for other like upcoming bands, like there's like a band on there that's I'm pretty sure it's called Stood Shy, and they're young guys and they're awesome. They're fantastic. They didn't play last year, but they came. They brought people to the festival, and they are, and Karen's put them on and give them the chance, to be part of like something big and exciting. And we chucked on a couple of interviews for them as well last week, which was awesome too. So it's just like bringing that new energy. It's a different kind of festival. It's not like your Triple J, Splendor of the Grass, where it's every person from the age of 18 to like 25, and they're just hooked out of their minds for a weekend. Yeah. But this one's like it's actually a family-friendly event where you can bring everybody and have a good time. Security guards are there. You can have drinks and all that kind of stuff, and be part of the crowd with the bands. That's what it's really cool. It's like a really small. It's still a festival. It's still really big, but it's still got that small community kind of vibe where. Especially like the next day after, we do a headline show or stuff like that. Usually what happens is if we do a festival anywhere else, you would just come off stage and then go back to the VIP area and have drinks and party with your friends or your group. And that would probably be it. Or you'd go out hang out with the other bands, if that makes sense. Whereas like festivals like this, you come off stage, you can still have that time to yourself if you want to in the artist area. Like as soon as you go outside of that, it's all connected, so you can all just run into the crowd and be part with the fans and see what they're up to and hang out with them and hang out with the other bands who are also in the crowd as well. So the next day as well, you could be you know, having, you know, sitting in the mosh pit or sitting in right at the front listening to stuff, then your favorite artist might literally be right next to you.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
that there is nothing better than that. Like, and that's how, you know, long-term fans are made, and how magic moments are made, and lifetime, you know, inspirational quotes are made probably as well.
Well, that's one thing. It's like grassroots. It's she's found a way to basically bring it back to grassroots, and that's what I
Yeah,
really love. The whole concept of it. It's if you deserve to be there and you're a good local unsigned band, you get your chance.
100%,
And it's and it's
100%.
and it regardless of how big or how small or whatever it is, it's someone has given you a chance, and that's what it is.
100%, 100%, and you know, it's like I'm. What the thing is that it won't be like that forever.
I
That's the
hope it
thing. It's
turns into
such
something bigger.
like, it won't. It will get bigger. Like I think it'll get bigger. It'll get more expensive. Like it's one of those things that it'll eventually grow big because it's such a cool idea. It's a brilliant idea. You know, and especially like if the Queensland government, you know, accepts any kind of funding for it, which they're going to go for next year. So they'll probably get, you know, upwards of 20K or more just to put on the festival, plus what they're doing now. So like it's
Ooh,
limitless.
it is. I mean,
Limitless.
and skies is the limit. I mean, Karen could potentially just maybe take it to one or two more country towns
Yeah, like, that's
and
the thing. Like
just do it in
that's what I
Queensland, and
see it.
it just go
Like
hard.
Blues. Yeah, I see it as like Blues Fest. Like it's Rocks Festival or like Jimna Rocks Festival. She doesn't have to have it at that location. She can move it wherever she wants. She can put it wherever she wants. There's bigger places, you know. She can get bigger artists. So it's like a really cool. Like these bands are getting a really cool opportunity to be part of like this. You know, it's something you can chuck on their band CV and say, hey, you know, when you're applying for festivals, you know, next year or the year after, you know, or when you're a little bit bigger, and you're applying for bigger festivals like Jungle Love and Yonder and Splinter on the Grass, you can say, hey, you know, we did this festival up in here, you know, this was our first festival we ever did, you know, and they'll be like, oh, cool, these guys have done a festival, they've got some, you know, they've got some live experience, it's fantastic. You know, they're going to choose that over a band who's just done a couple of shows in Brisbane.
That's very interesting.
And
Yeah,
you
you've very interested me. So, in order to get onto some of these festivals, you actually have to send an application in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've never done anything like that before in my life.
Yeah.
You sound like
So-
I'm very interested.
Yeah, it's usually what happens is either the bigger festivals usually organize it themselves. So like usually you got if it's like say for example like Splendor, usually they might have a couple of slots which they take applications for, but you know that's you know a very large festival and your chances of getting on that is pretty low. But still do it, still go for it. You know, still put the time in and do a good application and make yourself look as good as you can and never be afraid of self-promoting yourself. Like a lot of people think, you know, I feel really uncomfortable putting my name out there. No. As a musician, that's what you have to do. You know, people love you for that. You know, you never think of a band where the guy at the front is just a shy guy. There's never a girl at the front or a guy at the front or anyone at the front who's just a shy person or a shy musician. They're never quiet. They're loud and they're proud of it. And, you know, they sing well, they play well. So put that stuff out there. But with the applications, there is a lot of stuff that they ask for. You know, they're asking for like, you know, write-ups, reviews. You know, what are you planning to do in the future? They want to know that they're investing their money well. So it's not like they're giving it to a band that is going to be ending in a year's time, or probably won't make it past, you know, 500 followers or 1,000 followers, and they'll just kind of stop after that because you know it was just a thing to do on the weekend, you know, like a hobby. But if these people are, you know, keen on continuing on and making these applications really, really good, they put the effort in, they put lots of questions in there, if that makes sense. They put a lot of questions, asking lots of different things, and they all use them. Every festival uses them. So yeah, they ask a lot of interesting questions, and they like to see what you're up to, and what your experience is. Like, what shows have you done? Have you done tours? How many songs have you released? You know, how many followers do you have? How many Spotify followers do you have? How many people on YouTube do you have as subscribers? How many views do you have on your YouTube? You know, they want links for all that. Oh, have you been played on Triple J? Oh, that's great. That's awesome. That's another tick towards your name there. Awesome. We'll add that to the list. And that's how they, you know, they go through and they go, okay, well, we've got this list of 100 people. They're all really good. How are we going to decide? And that's that information that's going to help them decide.
Jeez, Louise. So, I mean, essentially what you're saying, right, they don't want to invest money poorly. And I guess if they give you that chance that year, they want to hope that you come back the next year and you play a better slot, essentially.
But also, it's also investing in the industry. And if you are a good musician and you're determined, they're not just investing in you for that time, but they're investing in the future. For example, you know, I picture it like this: you get there the first time, so they let you in the first time, right? And they pay you, I don't know, $2,000 for a half an hour performance, whatever it is. And you know, you've got like it's not like a headline slot or anything like that. It's just a really basic slot on the festival. In the afternoon, there's still heaps of people there. Obviously, it's a festival. So it's still going to be an amazing experience, an amazing crowd, and everyone's going to have a really good time. But, you know, say in 5 years' time, that artist might be triple, quadruple the size of what they are. You know, and that means they can bring more tickets in, and they might ask them back, but hey, we can, you know, offer you 10 grand this time. You know, how many people do you reckon you'll probably be able to get to the festival? And then you can go, that artist will be like, yeah, that sounds great. I would love to come back and do that. That'd be fantastic. You guys gave me that platform that I needed to become the artist I am today.
That loyalty's got to count for something, doesn't it?
Exactly. In this industry, we're all going to be looking out for each other. It's a very tough industry to be in. Like all arts are like that anyway. Mm-hmm. It's all very tough. But like, if that community is there and we're all looking out for each other and we're very understanding of each other, a lot of amazing things can happen.
Mate, 100%. I feel like musicians sort of get lumped into the same thing as photographers, where everyone just thinks, oh, you just do it. You just know how to do it. It doesn't cost you anything. Like, you have it all there. It's like, no, this guitar I brought didn't cost anything. The lessons that I had to get to learn how to play this thing they cost a lot of money. Like,
yeah, it's not something that, yeah.
The amp that I'm playing through, that costs a lot of money. The petrol that I had to drive to get here now costs a lot of money. Like, and it's just...
If there's going to be a lot of love for the music and a lot of love to that's the thing. Like, I've tried doing other stuff as a career, but it's just, can't do anything else. I honestly just can't. I love this too much. I love performing. I love singing. I love writing. I love creating music videos. I love doing interviews and stuff like that and having chats about the industry and, you know, doing applications and going for grants and doing festivals, all that kind of stuff, you know, releasing albums, you know, writing up promo stuff and, you know, making cool vinyls or cool pictures or organizing cool artworks. That's like the whole thing. It's amazing. Dressing like this, you know, dressing the way I look. Like, for example, if I worked at anywhere, I couldn't dress how I wanted to. I could never do it.
No,
but
you can't.
I get dressed like this anytime I want to because this is what I love to do. So win-win.
And that's what I was actually. The funny thing is, I was talking to this about my wife last night, and she's like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, you know, with the kids, you know, like if they ever sort of said to me they wanted to get to music or anything like that, and they said no, this is what I want to do, then I'm behind them 110%." And she's like, "Oh, but they need a fallback." I'm like, "No, there is no other fallback. You don't get it. It's once you got that, it's all or nothing. And as soon as you have that whole fallback mentality, you've already given up. You've already given up because you've got something to fall back on. So it doesn't matter if you fail.
Exactly. So you don't put that 200% effort in, and if you really do put the effort in. Like, there is a lot of really cool things that can happen, you know, and if you put the effort in, people in the industry recognize it, and they give you those opportunities, and they work with you, and you get to try out new stuff in the industry, you know, like, just it's limitless. It's limitless. You put that time in, and you put the effort in, anything can happen. Sounds like a cat poster, but it's true.
No, well, I mean, like, like, I did not know a lot of what you've just said. Like, what you just explained to me there. Like, you can apply for grants, you can apply for. I didn't even know you had to really apply for festivals. If that was the thing, I think I would have been applying for a lot more when I was doing the band stuff. But the whole fact that you Jack sort all that out, and you're just on
like,
the front foot constantly. I can see just
emailing, like getting on it, emailing people, getting like you said, getting on that forefront of what you want, like just continuously non-stop getting at it. So like at the moment, I know that with the growth where we're at right now, where I'm looking at it actually in a business sense, like it will eventually start to plateau if we're not releasing music. So we're playing for this music here soon, and I was like, okay, well, we need to reach more audience. Right, we need to reach a bigger audience. So contacting, British India and big bands that are on tour over this year to be supports for them and mixing our tour with theirs, if that makes sense. So then your music's, getting connected with theirs, their music connecting with our fans, we're mixing together, we're building together. That growth can keep going up.
Man, you take this as like you're on another level compared to some of the people.
I live and breathe it. It's a lot of fun.
This is what I'm saying. There is nothing else. This is what you're doing, and you treat it like a job, and 100%. Nothing but pure respect goes to you, my friend. Because no, you mate.
Anyone can do it. Like that can be said for anyone, though. If everyone's putting that effort into whatever they want to do, it could, it doesn't even have to be the hobby that you're doing, or it just can be like anything you're doing in life. I want to get that promotional. I want to, I really want to have a baby, or I want to be a dad, or I want to be a mom, or I want to, do art. I want to do this. If you put yourself in that forefront, and you put yourself as like, hey, I'm going to do it, and I'm doing it now. You do everything you possibly can to make it happen. I promise, it will happen. It will happen. Mate, it's just inevitable.
Could not agree more. And even when you said with the kids, I don't mind telling this story. Like my daughter, my firstborn, was through IVF, mate. We were having kids. We were having kids. Like, it was as simple as that. It was as simple as that.
You had that mindset. You're like, we are doing it no matter what. We are doing it, and
yeah, it did. And one thing is positive energy. You got to try and bring so much positive energy into the whole bad, or not bad situation, but the fight that you got to sort of go through.
There's always going to be ups and downs. Never a bad moment. It's just you look back and go, that was rough. That was a rough time. But if I didn't have that rough time, probably wouldn't be as strong as I am now.
Well, man, this is one thing I'm going to say to you throughout every single explanation that you've given me about the amount of work that you've had to go through. Not once have you sighed or exasperated any bad feeling towards it or anything like that. And
I break down the shower. That's me.
Just lay there in the fetal position in the corner.
Yeah, that's pretty much
at the crying games.
I'm not perfect. I still get stressed out, and I still blow my top sometimes, and get crazy, and sometimes wish I could have a cigarette, but I don't smoke cigarettes because of singing. And I wish I could because it sounds really relaxing. But it still can be rough. It still can be, just like anything in life. It still can be rough. But it's your ability to sit down with yourself and go, step outside of that thought process, look at it from above, from a different perspective, and go, okay, that's how I'm thinking right now. That sucks. How can I fix that? What can I change it? Or and go, am I actually putting enough effort in? Am I putting enough effort in? Could I do more? Is there stuff I can do? And I've got this little voice in the back of my head sometimes that says just remember, eventually you will be old. Eventually you will be old, and eventually you will die. So you got lots of time, but you don't want to have regrets.
No.
So you never want to look back at anything and go, did I put the time in? Did I put enough effort in? Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't put enough effort in. Did I put enough effort in? And you never want to have that thought. I could not imagine what it would be like to be, 90, 80 years old and be like, man, I gave up on that too quick. I wish I put that time in, or I wish I did that. Or I wish I did that. Or why didn't I talk to that girl? Or why didn't I talk to that guy? Or, why didn't I make that move? Or why didn't I move over and do, something crazy in America or in Egypt. Why didn't they go see the pyramids? Why didn't they go do that? Just do it. Do it. Do it.
Especially after like what we just went through with COVID, it should be a big thing that life is just way too short, and we just sat 2 years at home
and literally anything can happen. Anything can happen tomorrow. Anything can happen. So just push through it. Again, I'm sounding like a cat poster. I sound like a cat poster. Hang in there, that kind of thing. I sound like a crazy cat poster, but it's very true.
This is the whole point, I guess, of the conversation, is that to sort of tell your story about the band and stuff like that, but B to actually tell other people what sort of gives you the drive, because hopefully someone that is thinking about starting a band watches this, or thinking about getting into something artistic watches this and just goes no, and you've given them those words, you've given them that thought process to go and do something different.
Just pushing through no matter what, doing whatever you want to do. Don't be afraid. Don't you're gonna get afraid. Don't ever think that you're not gonna get afraid and you're just gonna be brave the whole time. It's more like you get opportunities to be brave.
It means you're going the right way. As soon as you start getting scared, It means you're going the right way. Because
what I think about it is like I think of it in like a gaming perspective. So if anyone's listening and they play games, I think of it like this. So you're going the right way when things are difficult, or there's enemies in front of you. You're going the right direction. You're going on the right path. If it's rough, if it's difficult.
I could not agree more. Avid gamer, 100%. Could not agree more. Now, a bit more about TRIPSITTA. I'm very interested about your recording process. Now, do you guys do all this in-house, or do you guys have a producer that you work with?
Yeah, so we have an amazing producer. His name's Brock, and he's Brock Weston, and he sadly got flooded during the floods.
Man.
But we've donated all that kind of stuff, and he's gone great. He's fantastic. Great. Shout out to Brock if you're listening, man. Big love to you and your partner, Dusty the band. They're awesome. He's in a band called Bugs, and they're massive at the moment. Absolutely killing it. Like,
what are they called? Sorry,
they're Brisbane boys as well, and they are amazing. Absolutely.
What are they called again? Sorry,
Bugs. Bugs.
Cool. I'll listen
amazing.
After the stream.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Pop punk vibes. Very, very just very, very modern and really cool lyrics, good values, really, really nice guys, wholesome as fuck. Yeah, just big love for them. Anyway, their drummer Brock, he is our producer, and he does all the Bug stuff as well. So we get the benefit of having his awesome mind in our band. So usually how we do it is we obviously ask Brock when he's free because he's usually pretty busy and very popular. So we obviously get a whole bunch of songs, send them through to him, say, hey, we want to record some songs. This is what we're probably thinking direction-wise. This is a demo of us playing it live. This is what it sounds like. What do you think? And he'll be like, yeah, I really like it. Let's, organize a date and time. We won't come up with any new bits, if that makes sense, until we're in the studio.
Okay.
So we'll probably lock in a date, put a deposit in with him, and then we'll probably have, say, like a month or a couple of months before we're in studio. So we'll go, okay, in this amount of time, we need to book in, let's say 5 or 6 sessions where it's not just band practice, so they're separate. You're going to have sessions where you're working on that track. So you're making it the best it can be. Or thinking of ideas to add in the studio, say like harmonies or extra vocal tracks, or things to make the song better than it is. Because you always want to put in the best. Once, like you said, once you record it, that's it.
Yeah, it's done.
It's done. That's it. Once
you
you're
paid
done,
the money.
it's finished. It's not going to be any different. So usually after that happens, and you've locked in what you're going to do, we go see Brock on the day. Usually we get it all done on the day, which freaks people out a little bit. They're like, how?
That freaks the fuck out of me. Because you guys don't do pre-production.
Yeah, so what we do is we go in, then again, we're pretty quick. So save money in that as well, because the longer you're in the studio, the more it costs. It's time as well. And we're pretty quick. So with all the songs that we've all done them in a day. So we've never done them anything more than that. And I feel like that's fine per song, to be honest. Like if it's like there's a couple of songs we got coming up that we're gonna release, and there's one called Velvet Zen, and there's a lot going on in it. There's a lot, so it might take more than a day. We'll see, probably not. But usually what happens in the studio is we'll go in there, do a backing track. So basically that'll be as like a guide track for everybody. So we will usually just get me on guitar, really crappy mic. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just run the song, start to finish. Just so then we'll go, okay, cool, that's our length. We kind of got an idea. You're a bit slow there. We can edit that. That's fine. Don't worry about it. So it's just sit in the program so Rock can work out what's going on. Next, what happens is usually we get drums in. So then we've got our time locked in perfectly. And Brad is amazing because usually he does 3 repeats. So he'll just play the song 3 times in a row, or 3 repeats of a recorded track of the track that we're doing. And Brock usually just goes, yeah, the first one was perfect. We just did the other 2 just to make sure they weren't any better, but the first one's always usually really good. And Brad gets it done. He's in and out in a couple of hours, doesn't have to be there anymore. So he's just like gets there. Usually he's there for like a couple of hours, and he's like, "Yep, cool, awesome, I'm done. See you later." That's it. Doesn't have to be in there anymore. So he's like, "Hell yeah!" And then obviously if he wants to stay, he can stay. Usually what happens after that is we get like the other instrumentation in. So we might do the rhythm guitar just to help guide everything again. The bass, the lead guitar, and the vocals, and you're adding all those little extra layers in just to thicken it up. So, maybe an extra lead guitar line, or Andy might come up with a new little riff that he wants to throw in, something to throw in after that. So he's like, oh, maybe we should put this in here or put something in here. I'm like, okay, let's we'll give it a try. Let's just chuck it in because we've already got those parts in there, so we don't really need to worry about it. So we're chucking all these new things in. Ooh, a little bass part here would be kind of cool. And what the best thing about is not just having a studio engineer, but a producer, is that the producer is also at the same time not just putting stuff in on the computer for you and recording it, but also coming up with ideas with you in the studio, and that's priceless. That's what you paid the extra money for. That's what you paid the extra money for.
100%.
And you're putting that extra money and that time in for him, and he, will say, oh, he helped us come up with. I'll show him the next track that I'll show you later in Change. He came up with this really cool bridge line where it's like it's not anything different, but it's the drums and the rhythm of it that changes everything about it. It totally changes the song. So it's like that's what a producer does. They're adding all these extra little bits in to make it better.
Isn't it amazing how a producer can just add like little things like that and it completely changes the whole tone of the song? And that's what a good producer is.
Yeah, 100%. And that's their job, and that's why he rocks so good at what he does. And usually that's how we do it. We'll get vocals in there at the end. Usually that's usually the end of the day. So. And then, we'll add harmony tracks and, gang box, all that kind of stuff at the end.
Don't shoot over your vocals. Come on.
No,
how many takes? How many takes? You a one take? Are you a one take Tony?
Oh, no way. No way in hell. I'm not that magical. But I definitely get it done. So usually it takes a couple of takes to get it right, and just like anything, like sometimes I'll come up with new stuff. As we're recording. So I'll be like, oh, hold up a second, run me again from the chorus, just drop me right into before the chorus, and 3, 2, 1, here we go, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, in we go. And I'll come with like a new melody line or a harmony line that suits it better, or something that changes it again, makes it a bit better. Or it's something new now, and it has a new flavor to it, a little bit of psychedelic horn crumpets kind of vibe thrown in there now, and everyone's like, oh, that's really good. I really like that. Maybe we can add, let's add a third harmony on that maybe. Or maybe, we can add, can you go up in the falsetto there, Jack? Could you go up and do a falsetto? And I'll go, oh, maybe something like this, up in there. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, that's great. Let's add that in there. That's awesome. And then sometimes we'll be like, we'll do that for like 30 minutes and be like, actually, no, let's go back. Let's try something else. Let's do something completely different. So we'll come up with stuff on the fly all the time. And that's usually how the day goes. And usually there's like a little lunch break have a little break, have a beer.
This is all by lunch? This is all by lunch?
No, there was lunch. There is lunch. There's lunch in there. So usually it takes the whole day. So usually we're there from like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock to like 6, 5 o'clock. It's like a full day's work.
Yeah.
And there's lunch in there as well. So we have lunch and beers and have a beer and stuff like that. Take photos. Record some stuff for the content machine.
I'm absolutely blown away. First of all, you guys don't do the whole pre-recorded pre-production thing and then send it off. You just sort of send off like really raw sort of files. So to me, you're just like raw dogging it in the recording studio. But then
that's usually what we're doing. So we're running that. Like a lot of people say, oh, have you got, a lot of people sometimes at least save time, I guess, by doing pre-production. So like recording, a lot of people do record their guitar stuff first and send it in. Probably the only reason I don't do all that stuff is because I'm not a whiz with Pro Tools and production quality stuff like that. That's why we get Rock to come in and do that for us, because he's really good at it. And I'm sure I could probably learn if I did it for like 3 years. But like I said, it'd probably take 3 years. And
don't go trying to fix what ain't broken, man. Works fine. Exactly. Whatever you're doing, working fine. And, Rock,
and as you heard, it sounds amazing. That was Valley's like the first song we ever recorded, and it's amazing. Well, absolutely amazing. Mate, let's played by Triple J and all that kind of stuff, and they dig the music. They give us awesome reviews, so it's quality enough for radio, which is what you pay for as well. You put that time in, you put that time and put the effort in, and they respect that.
Well, like you even said, you had that little part at the end in the video where you like did you send that to Brock, and is that in the normal recording or?
No. So that stuff was added in. That was just added in for the music video. Just the music. Something just different.
Okay.
And for this one, for Change, it was different again. Heaps of stuff, heaps of different stuff. But you'll get it.
All right. So Change.
This one was written mostly because of COVID. So this one's like all about what COVID was like and how it affected a lot of people. And it was like, while Black Lives Matter and Aboriginal Lives Matter was going on, and gay and lesbian rights, all that kind of stuff. It was during this time of like where the people of like Australia had enough, kind of thing. So it was like all about saying, hey, there's a change coming. There's something big happening, and we're all part of it right now. So yeah, that's pretty much what it's about.
Awesome. Let's have a watch. Do you guys do all the recording for this yourselves again?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. You guys.
This one we did it with Cube Effect. So we did the same kind of thing where we sent through what we're gonna do, organize the actors, organize the props, organize the stuff. We just rocked up, they filmed it, and that was it.
I love the reggae feel straight at the beginning of this song. I love video clips like this. You guys have really done some. Wow. Oh, I love the logo, man. Where'd the name come from?
Well, that was just us. We were like, so basically we were like coming up with a whole bunch of name ideas. And we had like Joy State, a couple of different ones, and we just like picked them out of a list. And basically I think it was between TRIPSITTA, ER at the end instead of A. And we were just like, keep it Aussie, put the slang in there. So when Aussies say it, it comes out as TRIPSITTA. But anyone else would come up with TRIPSITTA. When they pronounce it, anywhere else in the world, you'll pronounce it how an Australian pronounces it.
Wow, I like it.
So it's not TRIPSITTA, it's TRIPSITTA.
TRIPSITTA.
Yeah, so it comes out TRIPSITTA. It like comes out as an
Nice.
Australian slang all the time.
I love the whole fast forward concept. How did you guys actually manage to do that with staying in time? Do you guys play it slower and then they speed it up, or?
Yeah, so this is all stuff that we had planned, organized with, like, you know, all the backing, all like the shots where we were organizing all the actors, everything, all this stuff was all organized by us. So we were like, we need to organize this person to be dressed like this, the prop for this, the backdrop. I remember buying that backdrop, like, you know, organizing, you know, the suit and how everything was going to go, the throwing of the water, all that crazy stuff was all organized, all planned out. So, what was your question again? You were talking about
The speed up, like how you got the fast forward, the whole thing going. Did you have to play it slower, or?
Yeah. So how we had to do that was, so that's what we wanted to organize that. So basically, the only way we could do it, because we only had, crazy enough, we filmed this whole entire thing in 4 hours. So even shorter than the time that we had for the Valley and the other ones. So with the filming for the sped up parts, we play in half time. So it's slower. So we play really slow. So at half the speed, right? And they record it at that speed. And then when it goes into editing, they just times it by 2 the speed. So it speeds up. So then we're still in time. As you can see, I'm singing the right parts at the right time.
Even the solo bits on the guitar.
Yeah, and that's all in time. So it makes it look like we're going at this fast pace, but we're actually playing in slow-mo. It's kind of cool. It's pretty cool. That's the whole idea of the effect.
Mate, the quality on this video is just... I am blown away. Like, the editing in with the bloke flying into the chair and stuff like that. You nailed the shit out of this.
Yeah, we did put a lot of effort into this one. We put a lot of effort and planned it out for quite a bit. We wanted to put a lot of effort into it. Put a lot of effort into it. So,
This took some planning.
We're very proud. We're very, very proud. It's got a really cool story as well. We wanted to, you know, capture the essence of, like, you know, bringing like that old mentality of, like, you know, the baby boomers and stuff like that, where their mentality is very like, you know, war's good and all this kind of shit is good and all that. This like very early, you know, Neanderthal brain vibes.
Oh yeah.
and bringing it through the ages, you know, like the whole idea is that, you know, we've got this, you know, the host at the start who's, you know, the host of like a really old TV program in black and white, and then you can see him traveling through the decades where his, you know, outbursts and his racism and his anger is looked at sourly the more he progresses on. So the more he moves through everything, the more people get mad at him. You know, like usually at the start, everyone's like pretty calm and no one gets angry at him. But as he travels, you know, from that time to the 70s to the modern day, you know, early 2000s, you know, on the Sunshine program, and then, you know, he's then in front of the band to, you know, almost get changed in that way by the music to become this new person, this new ideology.
Well, one thing that I noticed in the video is that him as a person doesn't change, but as he moves through the video, all the obvious problems, how he has to change. There's really no choice in the whole matter.
There's no choice. He kind of has to let go of his old ways and move forward and change his habits and change his bad attitude to become a new person to fit in with how the world works now and how the world's more open with love and it's more accepting of lots of people and, you know, of all walks of life. So it's never just like, oh, you know, my way or the highway. It's now like, you know, let's work together and we love you all. Let's make this place amazing.
You know,
and by the end of it, he is this new person. You know, he's got this, you know, he looks nice. He's got a nice shirt on. He's like been changed. You know, he's not black and white anymore. He's changed man, and walks out of the area, walks out of like the little, almost like hospital area that we're in, and leaves. And then all of a sudden, another person from that same area gets shot into the same chair, and then gets blasted away and changed by the music again.
Oh, such a good concept. quite clearly a lot of thought and planning went into making that video, but 4 hours to film? Like, was that every cut or?
So all the stuff that's there. So every scene with a person in it, that was part of the 4 hours. So anything that's not like hasn't got a person in it, that's like obviously editing and stuff we did prior or stuff we did after. So like, but all the stuff with people in it, that's had to be all done in that 4 hour time slot because that's all we got given. We got 4 hours to film, and then it was like editing for I think it was like a week or so of editing, week or two editing, and then it was out. That was it.
I love it. Another band that I can turn around and go, no fucking excuse.
Exactly.
No
excuse.
fucking excuse. And I mean
no
that.
excuse.
I mean that.
If you put the effort in, you can achieve so much stuff.
Well,
Also, if you organize. If you organize, you can literally do anything.
man, by the sounds of it, you guys got your shit together. You know the industry inside out. Like, all the connections, all the right avenues to take. I can only see bright things for the future. And the music is just solid. Just out of curiosity, what bands do you listen to, Jack?
Oh, that's the thing. It's very diverse. Like it's very, very diverse. Like I'll listen to like like stuff from like the Romantics all the way up to like the Beards. Like it's very broad. Like it's like some stuff can be very extremely modern, and sometimes like I'll like a country song, or I'll like an EDM song, or I'll like a metal song, or I'll like the way that female vocalist does her melody in that, or I like her storytelling, or like Bugs, for example, like pop punk, and it's all over the place.
Whatever tickles a pickle.
I'm never a person who's like, I like this genre because I play in that genre. Like, I don't actually listen to a lot of psychedelic rock. Like, I do listen to some of it, but it's not like the only thing I listen to.
Well,
I'm like not listening to like straight psychedelic rock non-stop.
Judging
like,
by Waste, you could have fooled me. I love Waste.
Yeah, it's a good song.
It is a solid song, man. Solid song. Everything you guys have brought out, production value is just spot on. Brock has obviously done a very good job. You've hit the nail on the head with the producer, especially considering you guys raw dog it.
Yeah, he is a very talented man. Very, very talented man. Absolutely deserves every bit of good fortune that he is getting right now. So he's a very, very talented guy. Very talented guy.
Well, obviously, and you work with very solid musicians as well. Like
Yes,
the rest of
they
the boys
are.
in the band are obviously
Incredible. We've got new bass player and another lead guitarist in now as well. So we've got Mitch on lead guitar and Sludge on bass. We still got Brad, and we've got Andy coming in for a couple of shows as well coming up for Jimna and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a big amount of people on stage. Big amount of people. We're gonna have some special guests on stage as well. We're gonna
awesome.
get some secret guests up on stage with us, which will be pretty cool. We're pretty excited for that. That's a bit of a hush, but it'll be fun.
Can you give me a rough idea of like sort of the layout of Jimna, like how it all sort of?
How can I explain it? All right, so pretty much picture like it's like the festival grounds are like the size of the MCG.
Okay.
It's large. It's big.
Good.
It's still. That's why I say it's still a festival. So it's still like an organized big festival, right? It's huge, but it's got that. It's one stage, so you're not missing anything. You have to see everybody. The camping area. There's food trucks and markets, like you see at every festival, right? It's very festival atmosphere. Art classes, yoga classes. Stuff going on. Very Woodford. Very under the stars. Wholesome vibes. But you've got a large area. But coming back to what I said, like at the start of the interview, is that everyone's all mixed together. So it's not just the artists hang out in the artist section and the hunters just hang out at the front. It's everyone all mixed together. And the same thing with camping. It's not like everyone is separated. How like most festivals you get like the glamping section, and that's cut off from everybody else. And then there's the camper van section, and that's cut off from everyone else. The tent section, that's cut off from it. And then there's the VIP section, and the VVVIP section, and then the V, a very important person, and the MVP section, this section, the AAA section, and double A section, the A section. You know, it's all broken down. So everyone's like separated and congregated, that kind of thing. But this way, it's like everyone's together, and like I said before, you can see your favorite artist enjoying the music right beside you, which is probably one of my favorite things is that I've never done a festival where it's like that, and I love it.
Awesome. And who knows, you might actually get to catch one of your artists sitting around the campfire at the end of the night and sit there and have a bit of a yarn.
Exactly. That's literally what we did last year. Like, they have this massive, I'm like talking huge fire pit, like bonfire size fire pit there, and it's absolutely stunning. Like, you can fit like nearly 100 people around it in a circle, and like everyone was, you know, playing on guitars or just chatting, and fans talking to each other, or artists talking to each other, and they're all in the same area. It's not like, oh, you can't be here because you don't have that pass. You know what I mean? It's not
excellent. It's humble.
Hasn't got that. Oh, we take ourselves too seriously kind of vibe. It's more like, it's very welcoming, and like, obviously don't do anything wrong or do anything bad, but like, it's more like, it's a safe space. Everyone can, talk to whoever they want to talk to.
Everyone's like,
if you
family.
want to talk to your favorite artist, you totally can. They're right over there, just sitting over there. You know what I mean? You're having a drink or talking to someone. You can go and have a chat with them, or have a jam with them, or ask them questions. Ask them things you've always wanted to ask them, but you've been, haven't had a chance. All that kind of stuff. Take a photo with them. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't get that chance. They just got to take the photo while they're up on stage and miss the actual performance because they're too busy just trying to capture the moment for later. They can actually enjoy the experience and then afterwards take a photo, with them and their friends like they were in the VIP section, but don't have to pay like the $800,000 price range. Instead, it's like $100, which is huge. And Karen's made it. That's why I love what Karen's done. Is she's created this incredible space that I don't know. It just makes it more wholesome and more connected.
Man, wholesome. You hit the nail on the head. Wholesome. That's wholesome ass festival, man. I love the sound of that. That is such a good concept.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. She's done a very good job. She's a very smart lady, very, very smart lady, and she's very very loving towards a lot of the local bands in Brisbane. A lot of the bands going to be playing, and you got that's the cool thing is you got like some really big names in that lineup as well. But you've also got a lot of unknown bands, which is giving those bands a chance, stuff like that, which is incredible. And they get that chance to play in front of that festival performance and do that awesome show in front of hundreds of people. And yeah, it's incredible. It's going to be a great festival. It's going to be an amazing festival.
Awesome. All right, Jack. I've got questions that I ask every single muso that I've had on here. I guess it might be a bit hard for you because you sort of sit in that line with me where I love it. I'm a metalhead, but I love all music. I love rap. I love classical. I just love everything. Well, do you have maybe 5 albums that you'd sort of say were very influential on you growing up as a child that made you the musician that you are today?
Yeah, well, like my music background is very odd. So like I came from like how I started music was I was playing piano. My piano's just there. But piano from like a young age. And then in primary school, Catholic primary school, they asked me to play Jesus in one of the things. It was like a singing role, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. I think I was like in grade 3 or 4. I was like, yeah, cool, that sounds fun. I'll do it. I was like, fine. And I did that. And I remember my piano teacher talked to my parents after and was like, hey, he should be singing. He's got a bit of talent there. And it kind of just kept going from there. I was classically trained, did a lot of classical training, so I was, trained properly, did my grades and stuff like that as well. And then I did a little bit of musical theatre because that was like because I'm from like a country town, that was the only thing you could actually do there. Like they had Battle of the Bands, which I did every year as well, but that was like once a year. And you couldn't really do that. I was in a couple of bands there as well. We had a band called Hysteria. Shout out to the guys if you're listening still. I don't even know what you're up to, but I'm sure they're doing cool stuff. But did that for a little bit, and then jumped into uni and kind of where I am now, if that makes sense. But the stuff that I really listen to, I guess, a lot of albums I listen to, a lot of inspiration, I guess. Like the White Album from the Beatles would be a pretty influential because it's a bit It's like how I was talking to you before, how we raw dog it. It's very raw.
It is.
The White Album is very, very raw.
It is.
People say that album was like the point where they knew the Beatles will never come back. Like it'll be the last album. Like the end. It's the end. A lot of people say it was the end of them. You know, that was like they're like, oh, it's not as good as the rest, or it was kind of shitty and it's a bit wacky. And I think that's the beauty of it, is that it's real.
Yeah, it was a leap of faith.
Real. There's not a single part in that where it's not not real. It's like it's real. It's very, very real. It's a very, very real album. It's very raw. It's got a lot of emotion to it. There's not a lot of we added some things in here to make it fake, or there's a lot of mistakes in there that makes it really.
It wasn't overproduced.
Overproduced?
It wasn't overproduced. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Oh yeah, it wasn't overproduced. Yeah.
It didn't let it get to the part where it sort of hit perfection.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a big fan of Fooey's as well. So big fan of Fooey's. A lot of energy in the Fooey's as well.
Wasn't that sad about Taylor?
Yeah, it was brutal. It was a bit sad. They were going to go on tour and stuff like that. Everyone was really excited. That's the thing about artists. We're not around forever. We get love. We get love for a long time. We put our gift out there for the world to enjoy, and then we're off next to the next thing. Off to the next cool adventure.
Yeah, it's been a rough trot for the rock stars lately.
Yeah, but that's how
comes with the territory.
It does. That's how it is. It's if it's not that, it's the 27 Club. You know what I mean? There's ups and downs, and we ride this massive wave, and it's like they say, it's like learning to surf. It's never the wave the whole time. It's the still parts in between. And those parts are still going to be enjoyable, and the ups and downs are still going to be enjoyable when there's no wave, and you're not riding the awesome crowd and all that kind of stuff. It's that part where you're going to be sitting there, meditating on the board, looking at the beautiful sunset, enjoying the journey, and the ups and downs, and the people leaving and the people going, and you're losing friends, they pass away, or all that kind of stuff, and that definitely comes with it. It doesn't mean that it's over. It's just the next bit.
Yeah, who knows what'll happen to his energy?
Exactly. All gets recycled, all that kind of stuff. Big believer in that kind of stuff.
Same here.
It continues on forever. It kind of stays in that. It never truly diminishes. Never really truly goes anywhere. It can't be deleted. It can't be removed. This energy just continues on.
And it'll be absorbed
somewhere else. Else. It continues on somewhere else.
Some other lifetime.
Exactly. Big fan of the egg theory.
Go on.
You never heard the egg theory before?
No.
So the egg, it's got a lot of. I'm not sure who made it. It was like a really cool story that I heard, and it's like a lot of people not believe it like as a religion, but believe it. It's a kind of a cool theory of how the universe works, and basically how it is like they're saying that. Everybody that has existed and ever will exist is the same person, basically. So we're the same consciousness, if that makes sense. So when we die, we get reborn again as not just someone in the future, but someone also in the past. So for example, they say a lot of the time, like say if I was to die, I might come back as a girl in East Asia in the 1600s.
Oh, you can go back.
Yeah, back and forward.
Oh.
And say so it's like it's not just for because time is what we've made. We made time.
Yeah,
we were like, hey, this thing.
I agree with that to some sort of extent. The whole thing that we made time, but. In saying that, everything deteriorates. So in some concept, time has always been around because everything has, like, as humans, we all have a start point and an end. We just somehow managed to put them into a number form and give them a 365-day cycle. And
we were looking at the sun, looking at the planets, and going, "Oh, yeah, that's come again. Oh, that's going on again. Cool. I'll remember that the next time. Awesome. Lock it in for time. Come meet me when the moon's at this time. That kind of thing." But yeah, basically the whole theory is that the consciousness is all one. We're all one being, if that makes sense. And how it is it's an egg. It's like a giant. It's like a little egg that we're sitting in this universe that we're in as an egg. So I'm not just talking about life on Earth, life on other planets or whatever. Being a bird or
this current dimension that we live in is an egg.
That's an egg. It's like an egg, and that we grow. The more we live, the more the more love and the more understanding that we have. That we grow to a point where we are a god, if that makes sense. We become God. That egg is we become our own God, if that makes sense. Which I think is pretty cool. I think that's a pretty spot on. Well, for me, I think it's pretty cool. I reckon it seems pretty spot on. Who knows? But everyone can believe in whatever they want to believe.
Oh, I've always bought into the whole theory of the Hindus and the Buddhists, where reincarnation happens, where we're reborn into the I guess the energy that we put back into the world.
Exactly.
Which is a good concept. I do. That's pretty much the most eager one I guess I'd buy into.
Yeah.
Because I guess the more, because you have heard about it. I mean, you have heard about little kids talking about their past lives and stuff like that. It's not unheard of.
That blows my mind. That stuff is some of the craziest stuff I've ever heard of in my life. Like how a child who's like 7 years old is like, yeah, I know exactly what happened at this time. It was that was my life. This is how I died. And then someone will, from that era or a historian buff will be like, yo, that's spot on.
Yeah.
Like, how did you know that?
Yeah, it's crazy to actually think that energy could be recycled and then put back into a new being. I guess is essentially what it is.
Yeah, we have no idea. Like we really truly have no idea.
I don't know anybody that's actually died.
Yeah, like who knows? Like that's the cool part is that. The cool part is that we exist in this. We get to exist for this bit, and who knows what's afterwards? Who knows? Who knows? It's exciting to think about. What's going to happen next after this bit? Who knows what's going to happen next?
It's actually funny you say that because I listen to Jordan Peterson every now and then. Some of his ideals I don't agree with, but then some of them I do agree with.
Yeah,
I try to. It was the one how people have lost the fear of God. Have you heard about that?
Right. Yeah. Like as in talking about like how people don't fear like the anger, like the wrath. If that makes sense.
Well, it's not so much that. It's more so goes into the line of heaven and hell, because people don't believe that they will go anywhere after. They're trying to live their heaven now.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And this is where he sort of talks about this like mass spending and people just buying frivolous shit and just not, I guess, planning for the future in a sense anymore. People want the best of the best right now. They want to have their best life now. They want everything. They want that instant gratification and instant satisfaction now. And because nobody's actually got the concept, I guess, of an afterlife, as in the concept of heaven and hell, they think, well, no, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want that makes me happy right fucking now. Fuck everyone else, in a sense. And they don't...
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Like, especially, I would say mostly it's an Australian thing as well. Like, it's a lot of other, like, especially, like, if you go outside the Western culture, so, like, America, England, just anything that, anywhere that doesn't, like we're very
capitalist
because we celebrate all the days. But other cultures, like you got India, you got China or something like that, where a lot of them believe in those other ways of life and that reincarnation. That is part of their Hinduism, all that kind of stuff. Like Muslims, all that kind of stuff. It's part of their day. It's part of their day. It's enveloped in it. Like that's why people who have like a Viking background, Icelandic, Swedish background. It's like their religion was like don't fear death. It was like an exciting thing. It was like
you get to go to Valhalla.
You get to go hang out with the gods. Like don't even stress it. Don't
Just
like,
die an honourable death.
Just die good. Like die the way you want to die, and you'll get to do what you want to do. Like, and I guess like in Australia, we're just told. Really, if you know, I guess if you go to a Catholic school, you get taught, if you're a good person, you go to heaven, and if you're a bad person, you go to hell. So it's like we're very limited in that fact.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, gotta be good, gotta be good. You gotta be a good person. You gotta make sure that you do everything right, or you'll end up in a bad place. So it's a bit sad in that way, where we kind of can get locked into that. Our religion can. If it's not a right, if it's I don't know, there's nothing wrong with religion. It sometimes can be a beautiful thing, but it should never really hurt other people.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Yeah,
100%.
Religion. It's supposed to be there as like a hey, keep going. You're doing a good job. Be a good person. Try your absolute best. And that's all we can ask from you. That's it.
I think one of the funniest lines I ever heard from a comedian was that can't remember who it was, but he said that the one problem with religion is that there's all these messengers, but nobody got the message.
Spot on. I saw this this one of it was like I taught it in school, and it was like it was actually a really cool teacher. She was really nice. Mrs. Keller, she was really nice. Basically, she did this little whiteboard drawing, and it was like a river or like a sea, if that makes sense. And all the different religions kind of like sat on top of this river, and they were the different wells. That makes sense. They go into the same river. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So they all put up the same thing at different times in different places. So it's got the same message, but they're all very, very different and can be very, very have been interpreted in different ways and prepared in different ways and read different ways. People have taken things literally in some senses, and
people will
not
die
literally
for
enough in some senses, and made up their own parts. And it's just like wars are fought, or you're a bad person because you don't believe in my God, and you shouldn't believe in my faith because that's the faith that actually is real. It's like, well, is it? Is it? What is mine? Is yours? Is anyone's?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it just preaches all just be good people. Just be good to one another.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it. That's the message.
Exactly. Love who you want to love. Do what you want to do as long as you're not hurting anyone else.
That's it.
That's pretty much it.
Man, that's life. That should be the rest of life. So
that's the book. I write a book. Just love her. Be nice. Live good. Don't hurt anyone. Don't be a dick. End of book. Finish.
That 100%. Right, you gave me the White Album and Foo Fighters. Give me more. You got three more.
There's just so many. There's so many.
The ones that just hit ya. The ones that hit hard. You can even just give me. All
right, I got a couple of there's one of Mumford and Sons albums is pretty massive. That probably influenced me pretty heavily back when I was a teenager. When that was coming through, it was like their first album that came out, and that was amazing. That really got me into that kind of music for a while. I was really into it for a good while, and that's like one of my first ones that I ever did. Was very similar in that kind of regard, like got that acoustic, not, like I wouldn't say like acoustic folk, but like that a lot of energy and power behind their stuff. A lot of like big, like soaring harmonies and big melodies and big sustained notes, and still having lead guitar and all that kind of stuff, and that rock element, but it's got like an acoustic.
Because I even threw banjo parts in there, and
exactly, and that stuff. Amazing. I would say another one would be Cat Empire's second album, like their big massive second album.
How underrated were they?
So freaking good. I was so sad that they're stopping their stuff.
know.
Yeah, I was like, nah. A lot of my friends don't understand why I listen to them and why I like their stuff, but I love it. It's cool.
They were different in a world where Australian music was pretty much a predominantly punky, real.
Yeah.
They stood out. They were different.
Hell yeah, trumpets freaking keyboard solos.
But it wasn't ska. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just big band energy.
Yeah.
Big band energy, or big D energy, that's what I call it. It's just epic proportions in a 30-minute set, 45-minute set. Epic words, two vocalists, creating these really iconic, cool, different tracks, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Vitriol.
Big fan of those guys. Very sad that they're off doing their own different things now. But
I'm gonna have to find out what they're doing.
Yeah.
You got one more.
One more album. I think of a really good one now. That's the last one. You know what? I'll chuck this one. This is actually a really, really good album. It's actually a new album. Probably gone up to in my top 10, probably top 5, I reckon. It's actually Bug's new album.
Okay.
Really.
I'm gonna check them out after the stream.
It's called Cooties.
Cooties.
And it's amazing. Just the songwriting in it is really, really cool. A bit funny. It's got like a bit of a laughy, carefree attitude to it. It makes you happy. There's some really, really emotional tracks in there as well that make you have to sit down. It's like a really good set. If that makes sense. So
That's awesome.
How they've created the album is it's how I write my sets is you punch them in the face at the start and you keep this big energy, keep going, and then you slow down, you get nice and close to everybody, and you create this beautiful little atmosphere of connected to them, slow it down, get emotional, get in their faces, tell a story, be involved with them, and then you throw in the big energy again to finish it off. And that's exactly how they wrote that album. It's like that same kind of thing. As you listen to it, it's like that high energy impact, and then you've got this nice emotional structure, and then you've got another big, massive punch in the face at the end, and you're like, wow, what an amazing album. And a lot of albums do that. They got punchy, relax down a bit, and that's probably the best way you can do an album, to be honest.
As long as there's nothing I can skip, I'm happy. There's not many albums these days that you can go, oh, the whole thing's just fucking peach from front to back.
Yeah.
And that sounds like that. I'm going to have a listen to that after. All right. We're going to, because I've got a wee real bad, and we're hitting the 2 hour, we're hitting the 2 hour mark. This is another This is another question I ask every single muso. So, when TRIPSITTA walk into the studio, or when they attack, say, any project, what is the cat poster motto?
Yeah.
That you guys walk into.
Putting in being organized and putting in that 100,000,000%. You can never be too organized. Push to every avenue. Never leave any door closed. Open them all. A lot of people say oh, you got to make sure you open the right door at the right time. No, just freaking open all of them so you can see what's behind them first, then you can make the best decision. Fill out everything. Put more info in. Write down all your specific things that you've done. Celebrate all the amazing things that you've done. These are all things that my rents have told me as well. Enjoy the journey. It's a ride. But when we go to the studio, all that kind of stuff, the best thing I can say is just put in the effort as much as you possibly can, but also enjoy it. If that makes sense. Love it and enjoy it. There's lots of things. It's like a freaking book. It's like a book of things.
Do it. Man, I was actually going to say you should get into doing video concerts for other bands, because everything you guys have done has just been so spot on. You've captured so much. The new video clip we watched tonight, you've managed to stay political, but you've sold the message properly. With the first video, you've made it real Aussie, and you adapted so well to the fucked up situation you guys were stuck in, and it just speaks volumes, A, to your character as a band, B, as just a unit, and that whole no fucking excuses attitude, which is what I love. We can't have everyone there for COVID, we're going to fucking cut out everyone.
Exactly.
This is
exactly.
not. This video is getting made, and we're going to adapt. We're going to adapt to every
And
single situation.
That's what everyone had to do. That's what the venues had to do. That's what the artists had to do. They had to adapt and change and grow. And you know, everyone said, "Oh, you know, it's the end. You know, it's the end. There's no coming back from this. No coming back from this. No. Musicians are one of the hardest people in the world. We can do anything. We can do anything. We can, survive these massive waves of like doing a show, then nothing for like a year. It's nothing worse than post-show depression. It's a real thing. Look it up. It's a real thing. People, do these big, massive shows and tours, and they can't. And then after it's done, they get these massive waves of depression, and it's super normal. But like I said, it's like riding that surfboard, riding that wave, having those moments where you're on the board and you can look out at the sunset when the waves aren't going, and you can go like, yeah, this is still really good. This is still really nice. It's still an absolute pleasure to be here and experience this.
Man, honestly, the energy you bring into your life and your craft, mate, you guys will be doing fine. I'll be seeing a lot. I'll be seeing your name up in big lights soon. I can see
Oh,
it.
you're too nice, man.
Nah, mate.
You're too nice.
Look, I say this. I've probably said this every stream. At the end of the day, you lot do all the hard work. I just sit here and drink beer and talk to you and just ask a shitload of questions,
I'm
man.
happy to jump on anytime, man.
Mate,
I will.
That is so awesome. I'm happy to have you back. I cannot wait to see what you guys do.
Next time we do another song, I'll hit you up and we'll have a chat, and I'll get all the band on with us, and you can chat to everybody and have a chat.
Do it.
We can sit on the couch and have a few beers and chat about cool stuff.
It'll be fucking awesome. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to roll a little outro, and we're going to have a little chat after I go to the bathroom. All right? Oh, but say bye to everyone.
Yeah, well, yeah, thank you so much for everyone for listening in. Much appreciated.
Mate,
make sure you have your tickets online for Mosh Chicks for Jimna. I think the code is TRIPSITTA 2022. So if you want cheap tickets and don't want to pay like the full price for the full weekend, you can only spend $100 and you get everything for a way cheaper price. So make sure you do it, and you'll get experience that you've never experienced before. I promise.
Ah, yes. And we're going to be there. I'm going to be there too. All right, dude. I'll see you in a minute. I'm going to roll this outro and we're going. You champions, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you're watching this afterwards, like, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. It helps out a lot. And you get to see all the other bands there. There'll be links down in the descriptions for all the tickets you can buy with all the TRIPSITTA codes and stuff like that. You all have a good night. And I will see you all very soon. Beer Buddy out.